Wow. There's more people than when I sat down. This is great. And should be today, Brigid. Should be. This is definitely a day to celebrate you and your wonderful saying yes to the universe. Saying yes to the universe. I'm here. Oh, I got my official Unity drag on and a suit and everything. So.
I was expecting the Hawaiian shirt, Jim.
I was, yeah, well, we discussed that, didn't we? That's for later on in the day. I wanted to come and, among other things, one of my visions, when I got the message that it was time for me to move on, like you got your message, it was time for you to move on. You know, you don't know what's next, but you know, it's time to go. One of my visions was to pass the torch, pass the baton to the next minister. The next perfect minister for this community, because while you guys may think this is normal church, I want to tell you this is an exceptional community. It was when I got here many years ago. It was when I moved on to my next thing. And it is that spirit that is working through the community that makes this such an exceptional community, and the openness and the willingness of every one of you here, whether you've served in a leadership forum or volunteered or done whatever you've done, whether you stuck out and kept the music running no matter what, and a few other things, right, Roger? One or two, whether you've been around like some of the folks I'm smiling at right now who have been here since early on. That is, I think, I will tell you, that is part of what made it possible for you to get Reverend Brigid, because if you hadn't done that work, she'd be somewhere else where people were ready to do that. That is how the universe works. When we're ready, when we step up, the universe puts us in one of the many places, in limitless possibilities, Dottie, absolutely right. But as we are willing to step up, the universe puts us in the places where we grow and where we promote the growth and the awakening. I love that in the mission statement. The awakening of who the heck we really are and always have been. And that takes place not only in congregations, it takes place in ministers. This church did that for me as a minister. I know you did it for people that came before me. And not wanting to cut your stay here short, but it will do it for whoever replaces Reverend Brigid when her time to be doing this, when she shifts to her next right thing, in another 30 or 40 years. It comes from trusting that there is that infinite universal intelligence working all the time in many, many different ways. I loved the fact that when I came here, you come from the St. Vincent's community. I've often thought of this as somewhat of a radical or, let's say, unorthodox, untypical Unity church. They're all untypical, but it definitely falls into that wing. And I must say, from my limited background in Catholicism, St. Vincent's is not your typical parish. And they do it well. And they do it well. So that is what this is about. And so I always said my job was to be a coach and a cheerleader here. I don't know how the heck one does a minister. One does coach and cheerleading, and one does one's spiritual growth in front of the community. And Brigid, it is your turn to be coach and cheerleader and to do your spiritual growth in front of the community, thereby modeling and encouraging everybody in the community to do their spiritual growth in their own unique way. In their own unique way. Because as we do that, one by one, the universe brings us into alignment with the greater possibilities. For, what biblically we read of as the kingdom of heaven, a heavenly experience. So it says here I'm supposed to do some sort of blessing. The universe has already blessed this woman and made it extraordinarily clear. I mean, There is no missing what happens. But there are some things on this little order of service that read an awful lot like a marriage ceremony of some covenants and vows. So I'm going to pass this. I'm going to ask Brigid to come up here. I think I need Roger and Dottie and Heather somehow. I don't know how they want to do this. I'm sure, I know that they know.
Stand here. He'll be right there.
Am I staying here? All right.
Mask off, mic on.
I got the mic. I don't never give a minister a mic.
Share.
All right.
Okay, I think I start.
You do.
And I'm going to ask Reverend Brigid Beckman. Reverend Brigid, do you commit to do your best to serve this church as its senior minister?
Yes, I do.
Yay!
You can save the yays for the end.
And to serve as a heart-centered, wise, humorous, sincere, collaborative, and well-organized minister.
Yes, I do.
Reverend Brigid, do you commit to do your best to honor your divine call by continuing to serve and walk your path with the spirit of yes?
Yes, I do.
And to honor your divine call by continuing to serve and walk your path with this. Oops, am I reading the right one? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And to openly walk a spiritual path of growth, deepening consciousness and love.
Yes, I do.
And now be the next one, too.
Yes.
Because I could say it that time without crying.
Ah.
And, Reverend Brigid, do you commit to be true to the deep inner voice within you that calls you and guides you and is your source of courage and insight and wisdom and sometimes great surprises?
Yes, I do.
And now, for the other part of the vows, why don't you guys stay up here? Because I want you to join. It says we're going to bless Brigid at the end of this. We're going to do it collectively because that's the only way to do it today. And this is a collective experience. So now, for the congregation, the question is, Unity congregation, do you commit to do your best to be the just right congregation for Reverend Brigid as your new minister? Do you? That's a good answer. Do you commit to collaborate with Reverend Brigid and work for a better world? Yes. Do you commit to continue to work on your spiritual growth and the spiritual growth of this community? Yes. And do you commit to support Reverend Brigid in doing the same?
Thank
All right.
you.
What I was going to do, because it says a blessing, and we're going to sing here in a minute. And we used to do a blessing, or we do a blessing for the children. We love you, we bless you, and we behold the Christ, or the divine in you. I want to say, we love you, we bless you, hang on a minute, and we behold Unity's right and perfect new minister in you for Brigid. So I'll line it out, line at a time. We love you. We love you. We bless you. We bless you. And we behold. And we behold. Unity's right and perfect new minister. Unity's right and perfect new minister. In Reverend Brigid Beckman. In Reverend Brigid Beckman. Bless you.
Thank you.
So it is, hereby declared by the congregation.